Good evening, Malcolm.
Good evening, sir. Good evening. Good evening, Alan, as well.
Good evening, guys.
Yeah. Where'd you start, mate?
Where do you start, Malc? Come on, listen. This is the floor is yours. Talk to us, Malc.
Okay. They did research a few years ago about babies. You know, baby temper tantrums. You know, when they, everybody's seen it happen when they haven't been fed or whatever. And they actually monitored brainwaves and said that they've got the same brainwave as psychopathic killers. Well, that's Everton fans at the moment. That's Everton fans. We feel absolutely enraged. We really do. Scousers don't like injustice. Okay, yeah, we've been bad lads. We were called, not so much bad lads, just idiots who were in charge of the club. Yeah. They lost us a lot of money. You saw the fans. It was the fans that cleared the shower out that put us into trouble. But it's now the fans getting punished. And Alan Partridge, can I just ask, sir, I do respect you, but you painted a picture a few minutes ago about sort of like a court hearing with sort of Perry Mason appearing. First of all, these three wise men who judged on Everton, the head of that team was a guy involved with West Ham under the Tevez situation. Well, that's a great advert, isn't it, for the Premier League? That was a shambles. They settled out of court. The other two could have been Shirley Temple or Batman. Well, we don't know. But I'm sorry, as Jim Roy was saying, impartial, independent by arse. They were right. You know, they changed the rules. They didn't have any penalties, lads. They didn't have any penalties for what we've done. You know, 9 points if you go into administration. 9 points if you put hundreds of people out of work. If the guy selling pies goes out of business because we can't pay the bills. We should have done either two things. We should have done administration, gone into administration, or we should have simply done exactly what, and I'm not going to mention those two teams, but we know we're talking about, just gone stuff you. We're going to ignore everything. We'll push the can. We'll spend a lot of money, 20, 30 million on top solicitors, and then deal with it. And if anybody thinks they're going to see those top two teams touched till about 2058, dream on, guys. Because it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. Now, just before you send me off on my way, please, talk sport. One request. You get Simon Jordan. I don't like his politics. People in Liverpool don't like his politics. But my God, he is a good speaker. And please stick him against. Get that Richard Masters into your studios. And I tell you what, Richard Masters, you'd have to come with a change of underpants at that.
I tell you, that's a boxing card there, Malc.
But please, if somebody's listening, if Simon's listening to this, Simon, if you want to ring me tomorrow, I'll help you out. What to say, that's a bit tongue in cheek. But what I'm saying is, please leave a post-it note on his desk.
Okay, we will.
Your viewing figures go through the roof for that one.
Malc, thank you very much. Great call there from Malcolm, Everton fan. Very, very well spoken as well. I understand.
It just gives you a flavour of, the feeling about it. Obviously from the Everton camp, which will go all the way through the club and to everyone who works at that football club. There's going to be such an injustice to them, and they can't see it. And it is hard to argue against this 9 points for administration, 10 points for financial irregularities that you own up to.
Yeah.
That is the big question that everybody can't seem to get their head round, and the justification about it.
Yeah, it is very true. Everton fans, keep calling us 03717 223344. Let's head over to Lee, who's also an Everton fan, joins us on the final word. Good evening, Lee.
Evening, fellas. We okay?
Yeah, mate, listen, as I said, this is Everton fans. This is your forum. This is your platform. This is the floor. Talk to us, Lee.
Yeah, man. I mean, let's put aside the deduction for a minute. I mean, as ludicrous as it is, it's like getting 12 months in prison for dropping a piece of litter. It's completely disproportionate. But as I say, let's put that aside for 1 minute. You guys then have just been talking about the three clubs that went down last season that are looking at suing Everton, because obviously this deduction wasn't implemented last season, which quite rightly would have relegated Everton. Why are they suing Everton? Because We don't decide when that point deduction comes. It's the Premier League. Therefore, if there's anybody to be sued for this punishment to be, to not have been laid down sooner, that doesn't lie at Everton Football Club's feet. That lies with the Premier League solely. So with them three clubs, who, let's face it, they went down because they were poor. Yeah. They went down because they were the three worst teams in the league last season. And, they haven't gone down because Everton overspent by 19-point-something million on interest payments on the new stadium. The Premier League themselves have admitted that we've not benefited on the pitch, for any football reasons at all because of this slight overexpenditure. And it is slight. When we're talking, the hundreds of millions and billions that are going on in football, 19-point-something million is minuscule. Bearing in mind it was through the COVID period. Don't forget as well, we lost Gylfi Sigurdsson. Now, those reasons, obviously, we can't go into, but he was suspended from the club for a while, and then we lost him for nothing. So there's a player who was probably worth 20 million. There's a loss. Has that been taken into account as well? So it stinks. The whole thing stinks. I understand that the Premier League are trying to set a precedent for these super rich clubs, i.e. your Man City, your Chelsea, who are going out and just blowing money, left, right and centre. And don't get me wrong, we tried it. When Farhad Moshiri come in, Everton fans were made up. We were thinking, good, it's going to kind of take us to the big time. And that's what we were hoping. Mismanagement has cost us. And you know what? We deserve some punishment. If we've broken some rules, absolutely. Give us a 3.5-point deduction, something like that. Give us a transfer embargo for one window. Fair enough. But 10 points, as the last caller just quite rightly pointed out, you go into administration, you get 9 points. But boys, this is mental. This is absolute crazy. And I've no doubt that, through the appeal process, it will get reduced. But as far as I'm concerned, in terms of the three clubs that are looking to sue, if it is true, then go to the Premier League, sue them. Because it's them, it's those guys who didn't implement it sooner, not Everton Football Club.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We also got this issue, on Tuesday, all the Premier League owners will be meeting to go through various rules. They'll be all looking at each other because there's definitely some artistic accounting going on at other clubs where, let's be honest. So
it doesn't take a rocket science to work it out, does it, when you look at some of the numbers?
How are they all going to look each other in the eye and go, wow, where's this all going to end? When's it going to, this is a bigger problem outside of Everton. Of course, the injustice is on the phone now. You can hear it in their voices.
Do you think other clubs will be going after some of the other clubs that might be, on paper looking a little bit suspects? Like, had a great message here. Every team and his dog came after Derby, and we got 21 points deduction.
It's happened before, hasn't it? When you know what they say. When you're down, you get kicked even more. So it wouldn't surprise me if there's some awkward diplomatic conversations going to go on Tuesday for sure.